Welcome to You Ask 502, the podcast where real stories meet real skills from the plumbers, pipe fitters, and service techs of local 502. With over 25 years in the trade, I've seen a lot, and I'm here to bring those experiences and yours to the mic. We'll cover everything from technical tips and union updates to job site stories and career advice. So subscribe, tune in, and be part of the conversation. This is You Ask 502. All right, welcome back to the next edition of You Ask 502. I'm your host, Ryan Cleaver. Joining me is Hennessy with SUBO. How you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. I kind of wanted to bring you today to talk about what you guys do for us as far as SUBO and the capacity of social media that you guys
Yeah, I'm excited to be on this side of the lens. I think it's going to be fun.
I think it is going to be fun. So we'll just jump right into it. You want to kind of tell them what you do there?
Yeah, so my name is Hennessy. I'm born and raised here. I joined SUBO in December of 2022. Basically, I'm the account and social media manager for them. But in regards to UA Local 502, I handle everything digital. So that's your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram. That's these podcasts, how they go on YouTube, and then the website, redesign, all that kind of stuff. And we do have a team of about 10 people that help support those efforts, but you mostly see me around.
Well, good. I mean, it's very important to kind of be out in front of, I guess everyone today. No one really watches TV very much anymore unless it's like a streaming app. So, I mean, you really want to be, on your Facebook, your Instagram.
Yeah, digital presence is a huge thing now because, I mean, as I'm sure a lot of people picked up on, the younger generation, which is really who you're looking at for apprentices, are mainly on digital communication channels. The days of like TV and radio, like they're still there somewhat, but it's mainly for the older generation. So,
who's old? I might be old myself.
No, I'm going to say like 50 plus. You're welcome. But, so digital wise, you've got social media, websites, really anything that you can access from your phone is going to be the most important nowadays, just because, the rest of stuff's just kind of getting outdated.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. So what does SUBO do for Local 502? Like what every aspect that you guys help us with?
Okay, so we can start with social media. It's big. It's a two-folded question, but with social media, what I do personally is I post everything on your Instagram that goes to your Facebook. They're all connected. So types of content that we post, if you guys have seen, these channels, we've got like meet the team graphics, you've got meeting graphics, you've got reels. So like all the events that you guys do. Really everything that you see posted basically. So for social media, it's that kind of stuff, just displaying your brand, right? Making sure it's all cohesive, making sure that everyone sees who you guys are and what you're doing. And then SUBO also handles your website. So we did a complete redesign of that.
Just huge because it's so much better.
Yes. Yeah. And this is a huge thing. We can get into that later too. But as far as the website goes, I mean, think about it. What's the first thing you do when you think of a business or you see an ad out there?
Google.
Yeah, you're going to Google them. You're going to go to their websites. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the most important because I think it really lives in cohesion with your social media and all of your digital presence. But I mean, it's a huge thing. People now, they go to Google on their phones, they see your website and they want to know, who you are. And I think the biggest thing has to do with that is the very first thing you see is that homepage. Is it up to date or is it like, not great looking? Is it look like it was made 20 years ago and doesn't have updated photos? It's grainy, So I think the biggest thing that we did there was update the graphics. A lot of that has to do with all these fancy words in marketing. You've got your brand cohesion, your visual identity. You've got things that really help contribute to your brand overall and help everything look nice, basically, in other words. So your website is extremely important. So there was social media, there's website, and then there's these podcasts.
And good idea. I think actually, one of the coordinators kind of suggested it. He's like, we should do a podcast, and we kind of just took off running with it.
And it really is. It's great, especially because it helps build that trust with union members. Yeah. So you've got leadership talking, you've got people coming in here all the time. So being able to feel like they kind of get to know you more, if you're not necessarily, and I mean, I know you're around all the time, I see you, but it just helps build that trust and transparency with your members.
Right. That's actually well said. Well summed up. So like your day-to-day roles, like what would you consider those to be?
Okay. Well, mainly as far as the account manager stuff, because we do have such a large team, the biggest thing that I do would be like organizing that team, making sure that I'm communicating with you, communicating with the office down there, just making sure that anything you guys need is been passed on to the correct person, right? Because we've got videographers, editors, site designers, all the things, because it's an entire marketing agency, right? So my biggest job is definitely keeping it all organized. So communicating, making sure that everyone's on the same page, making sure that if you hear any feedback, that we're taking that feedback and we put it into place. And then, of course, my main job would be just specifically social media with you guys. So like we talked about before, editing all the videos, posting 3 times a week at least.
Get a lot of comments on the videos. A lot of, even, other agents from other locals. You guys are all on our feed. Every time we get on Facebook or Instagram, local 502, short or a clip or something. So it's pretty cool, And I know the members see that too. And, it's good for people, who are thinking about showing the local to actually see, what we do, what we consist of.
It absolutely is. And I saw an interesting statistic at one point, and it was like the issue with unions in general isn't necessarily that there's no interest, it's the awareness. And I think the biggest thing is the awareness comes from that digital communication and your visibility online. Right. So the more that people see, like I'm just thinking of I have 2 brothers, and I'm thinking of them right out of high school and thinking about what they wanted to do. It wasn't off the table. They definitely talked about trades with my parents, but I'm not really sure they knew a lot about it and really how to access that.
Taking a field trip to a school or, which we do outreach now, but I know what you're saying. It's not one of the things that pops up in your phone.
No. So the thing, you have to really go looking for it. So the more that you bring this out there in multiple channels, the podcast, the website, social media, and then what you guys do already with the outreach with schools and stuff, the more we do that, the more people are going to know about this.
Brand recognition.
Exactly.
All the marketing terms. So when did this relationship start?
Well, okay, so we restarted I actually wasn't on your all's account right away, but I know that we started from scratch, your all social media channels, in February of 2024 is what I want to say. So this relationship, when we met was about a year and a half ago, something around there. And then myself with SUBO, like I said, was in December of 2022. So we've been working really since for about 2.5 years, getting close to that. Yeah.
Do you have any other accounts you work on? Is this the only one?
Yeah, I do. I have, my goodness, I've got about, 10 clients that I specifically work on social media for. And then SUBO itself, I couldn't give you the numbers. A lot of clients, that I help just manage, like we talked about, the organization for the account management side of it. But as far as social media, I have about 10 other accounts, I'd say.
You still like it?
I do. I love it.
Well, you are good at it. So, brought some stats. I don't know if you want to kind of go over them, for everyone to know. So this, I guess, would maybe be the third page, kind of where you can go over your Facebook and your Instagram, how many followers do we have?
Yeah. So since we talked about this, since we started in scratch, February 2024, we have gained, or you all have gained, really, close to 5K followers, exactly 4,939 when I pulled this data. So, and that's huge because thing is we're not necessarily going out there asking for follows. This is just, this is organic, right? People just doing it on their own. And then just in the past 12 months, the page itself, and this is Facebook's gotten 2.3 million views, 11.2 thousand content interactions, which is every time someone comments, follows, shares, anything like that. And then 33.9 thousand profile visits in the last 12 months. So that's just people simply clicking on it from either an ad or organically, really anywhere it pops up. That's them being oh, I'm interested, then clicking on that profile.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Yeah. And then Instagram, which is a little bit slower for Facebook, is kind of like the hub. Right. And Instagram is kind of its secondary thing, especially for businesses. I wouldn't say that's necessarily true for personal profiles, but Facebook has a better system for businesses. But on Instagram, having 500 followers already on that in just a year really is a big deal because not a lot of people go and follow businesses on Instagram. It's mainly profiles, personal, friends. And then 134.1 thousand views on that profile in 12 months, 1.4 thousand content interactions, and then 27.7 thousand profile visits on that one.
It's been the most popular, I guess, fields. I guess it's probably a lot. The election was pretty big. Anytime we do something down at the boot camp, that seems to get a lot of attention.
I would say probably the most recent ones, probably those boot camp videos that we just recently did. I think those got a lot of traction because people are like, oh, like this is like showing off our local well. Honestly, the biggest thing for all business right now is those short form videos. Ever since TikTok and Reels and all that came out, that is where you're getting your highest organic engagement.
15 seconds to make an impact.
Yes, exactly. So those short videos, I mean, you should see like my phone blows up all the time, people commenting on your all's videos. And this is completely organic, not paid, right? So it's just things that are posted and they're seeing it because the algorithm gives it. And that's another thing with the algorithm is if you're not posting constantly, it's going to kind of punish you in a way. So there's all that back end stuff that we could get into, but it's kind of boring, honestly. But really what the algorithm does, if you're not posting consistently enough, it's not going to
reward you.
It's not going to put you on other people's pages. Right. And so I think that's a big deal is that we're posting at least 3 times a week, which is what they recommend, but then we're posting the kind of content that people want, which is those short videos.
All right. Well, I mean, those numbers speak for themselves, but it's not like just a local 502 thing. I mean, it's kind of like it kind of plays out across the country, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, really, I mean, like in the national context, that's where the bigger picture comes in. Right. So what we're doing for UA Local 502 kind of lines up with national workforce data. And I pulled some more stats for that. So I'm going to read some of those off. So social media is now the #1 job discovery tool, not necessarily TV and radio. And surprisingly, Facebook and Instagram really take that. I mean, obviously you've got things like X/Twitter, right? You've got YouTube, you've got LinkedIn, but Facebook and Instagram are really like those head runners. 64% of workers under 35 discovered their careers through social media. And that's a stat from LinkedIn specifically. Gen Z, they use TikTok and Instagram more than just Google. So even though we are showing up on Google and we're doing all those things there, they're going to the social media channels and that's where they're seeing like potential careers and where they're clicking on things and getting that. I mean, and video just dominates career influence. So short form videos, which we just talked about, 76% of all social media consumption is short form videos now. And that's changed in the last 2 years. Before that, that was not true. So that's the thing too about working together and having a marketing agency is that it's constantly evolving. Right. And that's the biggest thing. Yeah, you have to. Yeah. I mean, constantly doing research and looking at trends and things that other people are doing is the only way that you're going to stay on top. So, I mean, and there's so much of this, but like online presence, we talked about this a little bit, it builds trust, right? Yeah. So 82% of people trust organizations with a strong digital presence.
Which makes sense.
So, I mean, and that's the thing, like we talked about that going like on Google and seeing a good website or popping things up. If you see like, I mean, I can speak for myself. If I'm like going specifically shopping, if I'm shopping and I see like an ad come up and it's like something that I think is cute, I go on and I click on it. Well, if they have nothing else posted, they don't have like really anyone following them. There's no reviews. There's no website. Well, I'm not going to buy from them. I'm not trying to get scammed out of my money, right?
Website.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So it really is important how you show up in the digital world.
Well, I mean, that's why people pay $10 million for a 30-second ad for Super Bowl because,
Exactly. The more you're out there, I mean, it makes sense. The more people trust you. And then poor websites, specifically the unions, like that really hurts recruitment. We talked a little bit about that. But like locals with outdated websites, they are viewed as outdated by 63% of Gen Z. So just not having a website that they can go to, it's an information hub, like we talked about. Not a lot of people, when they're coming out of high school, at college tends to be the main choice right now. So if you really want to hit those apprentices and you really want to get those new people in, I think the biggest thing is that they see your online presence and they see that you're trying to reach them in the way, really meet them where they are, which is on their phones.
Right. What age group is Gen Z? Is that?
That's a good question. I mean, it's me, right?
Gen X.
See, I need to get better with this. I need to learn all of that stuff. But I do know it's the young people in the workforce right now.
I thought I read something about Gen Alpha the other day, and I'm like, holy shit, that started back over again.
Oh, see, that's not me then.
Right, definitely not.
But yeah, I mean, it really is. It's in a global context. Again, another one, and like apprenticeship applications are twice as likely to engage with locals that had that modern digital communication. Right. And then 58% said the updated websites help them understand how to get started in the trades. And the good thing about your all's website is I believe it's extremely user-friendly. You've got a section for outsiders and insiders, right? You've got the members only, you've got their login, and they're able to pay dues. They're able to see training schedules. They're able to see all of that stuff. But then you've got the outsider view, and it's all information. Exactly. Links to your social accounts. You can see the podcast. So it's a hub for everyone. Yeah, I agree with you.
So nationally too, this kind of, I pulled some stuff, or actually we kind of both pulled stuff for this, but as far as like other locals, like Ironworkers Local 22 in Indy, just some of the stuff they did, the Instagram Reels and the TikTok, and how the applications increased 31% in 1 year. So, it's just, you can read some examples if you want, but there's so much.
Yeah, there's been some really things going viral lately, specifically with unions. I looked into, where is this one? Oh, UA Local 130 in Chicago. They doubled their Instagram following in 8 months, and their public outreach campaigns reached 2 million impressions, mainly because they were kind of focusing on those women and minority recruits, right? So, and here's the thing about going viral is you don't know when it's going to happen. You just hope to continue producing engaging short form videos and content, right? And then UA Local 798 in Tulsa, their Day on the Pipeline series hit 1 million views like within record timing. So things like that is helping bring trades to the forefront, really.
We talked about doing that. You and I, we going out to the job site.
Yeah.
Problem is, some of our bigger jobs like Meta, I don't think they really want people walking around taking pictures. The same thing with the VA. I know Ford's real big on that too. But I think maybe we can go get some distillery work. And it'd be nice to kind of see how it works. I even thought we could do like a reality show. Maybe not us, but I'm saying just in general, just kind of like.
There's so many. I have so many ideas, and I think looking into the future too. Like other members. Thing is we work with you guys. You all obviously know the trades more than we do. I'm learning, right? But there's a lot of things there that we can do, ideas and things that looking in the future we're going to do.
Yeah.
We can do more things like on actual job sites. I'd like to eventually do some like member spotlights, and do interviews with members, not just you all on leadership kind of thing. So really hitting everyone in this union.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. And that's why, the whole podcast is like whoever wants to come in, if everyone's like, yeah, we'll do it, then it really is kind of hard to find time. It's an open forum. Whoever wants to, come in and talk. And then also I want to spotlight, you guys and, some other people.
Yeah.
Like we've been doing lately. So it's good. So the podcast, I know you kind of touched on this, but what exactly do you guys do for the podcast?
Well, basically, it's everything behind the scenes, everything but what you're doing right now. Take me out of it if I was someone else, right? So this is actually my first time in here, but, my team members, they helped come and set this up for you, make sure everything was working correctly. After that, you kind of run with recording it. But behind the scenes, it's everything. It's editing, going through hours of that footage. Not going to lie, that's no easy task. Yeah, taking out all of our mistakes, making sure we're putting in like logos and branding, creating the intro, and then everything in the beginning set up too, which is like creating the YouTube page, creating the podcast page on the website, all of that, again, visual brand cohesiveness that we're working on, and then working with you after the fact, making sure that we've got the bios correct of the people, making sure that everything stays consistent. So you really have something that looks nice and clean when you look at your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And then we're really excited to announce that we are going to look into some more ways for you all to listen to this. So we're looking into Apple Podcast and we're looking into Spotify. So coming soon. You won't just have to listen on YouTube. You'll be able to, not have that app up and kind of listen like at the gym or at work. Exactly. So yeah, podcast wise, that's really everything we do, but it really is, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot, but we have fun doing it because I really think that you guys do a great job. I have some other clients that doing podcasts that maybe aren't as into it. And I think that not only does it matter for the marketing agency to be involved, but for you guys too. So you guys have really hit the ground running, like making sure you have members coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And really we have so much set in store, like for the future, making sure that we continue growing this thing, putting it on more platforms, putting out there. I think I'm really excited too that we're going to start. I know if you've seen it recently, I sent it to you, some short form videos of the podcast.
Yes.
So we can now pull little clips and things. Not sure I'm going to pull from this one, but from, things that it's going to boost in your social media. So really, all of this is connected. We could talk about podcasts. We could talk about website, which we'll get to in a second. Really, we could talk about social media, but it's really important that all three of those things specifically and all of your digital presence is connected.
It's good, which is how drives me to podcasts is I'll see a clip on TikTok of 15 seconds and I'm like, ooh, I bet that's a good conversation.
Exactly.
And then you actually go pull it up and A lot of times it is. So
and that's how you get people.
So how many podcasts do we have now? 22?
Yep, about 22, and we're growing. We're growing monthly. We talked about more platforms coming soon, and we're going to be promoting this more internally as the new year approaches. So we're really hoping to hit more members in the union.
Sounds good. Celebrity guests coming? That'd be good.
That would be good.
Maybe.
What kind of celebrities?
Well, that's huge value. That's good stuff. So the website, let's kind of touch on the website.
Yeah.
That was the first big thing we did.
Yeah, it was. So that was a task in itself. A lot of things that even, again, I mean, my team members, there's things I don't even understand with the website, back-end coding and everything. So,
I mean, I would see them doing it, and it was like looking at the Matrix.
Yes, it absolutely is. It absolutely is.
Binary over and over.
And that would be why having a team is very important, because that is something I do not specialize in, but I definitely, oversaw it as the account manager. Took a lot of time, but I really think it turned out well. Like we talked about, really was, I mean, everything you see on the outside, it's beautiful and it's visual and it's got all of your tabs for everything. Right. I think the biggest thing was making sure that members can pay their dues how they want to. Yeah. Right. Which is a big deal. You can call in, but that is nice to be able to log in. Exactly. I mean, that's how most people are moving to paying bills and everything anyways, right? Yeah. It's just so much easier, especially because you get a notification on your phone. It's perfect. Everything's right there on your phone. But yeah, so 3 main points I actually wrote down that we want to share about the website and why the website is vital. Number one is that improves member experience. So what we talked about, an updated user-friendly website makes it easy for due-paying members to access those important resources like training schedules, benefit information, et cetera, right? Strengthen union communication. I think that's really an important one to make sure that you guys are able to reach everyone in your union at all times. Right. So that modern website helps you guys share those timely updates, push out notifications, it's connected to emails, that kind of stuff. And then what we talked about on the outside, the enhanced recruitment and public image, which we touched on that a lot already, but just being able to pull up the website and see everything you need to see about UA Local 502 and then be prompted to go to social media, to go to podcasts. It really does help with making you guys look appealing. And we do pretty good update that too. Yes, absolutely. So that's another thing that we do is work with you guys in the office and making sure that, and Lisa's doing great at that too. She makes sure that she's updating it. If she has any problems, she contacts us. She's got a login for that. So we make sure that you guys can send everything out. Good deal. So I guess you rebuilt everything. So the full site, navigation, the mobile responsiveness, dues, like you said, I mean, it was complete. The bones were there. It's like a gut and remodel. Absolutely, it was. So yeah, I mean, nothing really stayed, if we're being honest. Right. It took a lot of, work from our side and your all side, giving us all that information. Again, you all know better than we do, right? So getting there's the obituaries, there's the podcast, there's so many different tabs and clicks, and again, the back end work. That's interesting to look at, but yes, but the website, it's the first impression. It's really important. It is. So this part is really what I wanted to pitch home to the members. Why does all this matter? What is the goal of everything we're doing here? All right. Well, I mean, that again is a twofold question. There's a lot there. It keeps you informed, right? Gives members a voice. I think it's really important that they see themselves. I mean, when you go on social media and there's those events, talk about the golf scramble, being able to go on there, people are more inclined to share because they see themselves on it and they send it to their friends and family. They're like, hey, look at what I did this weekend kind of thing with the union. So giving them that voice, which also goes into giving them that pride, the union pride by showcasing their work and achievements. Reaches younger workers, like we talked about, strengthens those long-term memberships as well, improves transparency on leadership decisions, projects, and finances. So that's really like that podcast, right? Making sure they know you and they know what you're doing. Provides real-time updates during emergencies, weather delays, major announcements, those union meetings. Of course, not everything we want to share is public, right? It's members only. So that's not necessarily always going on Facebook and Instagram, but that's pushing out to the website, or that's being posted on your all's personal Facebook page. So there's a lot of different avenues that comes from, and then helps attract new apprentices. We talked about that a lot, and then makes resources easier to access. So those forms, events, training, contacts, they're all in one place. And we really wanted to, the mission was to still be able to reach all the members because, not a lot of people come to the meetings because, the hall's not really big enough to accommodate that many people. But, it's just a generation that kind of just doesn't come to live stuff anymore. Yeah. They kind of just give me the clip notes, give me the summary. So this is a way to still keep everyone informed.
about what we're trying to do, what's going on, and let them know, hey, big vote coming up, or there are some big things coming up that you do need to attend. And you can kind of reach everyone, because if not, then it's just hearsay, rumors.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important for that digital outreach to make sure that people kind of can get that information the way that they wish, and show up to their jobs when they need to, and show up to school when they need to.
So the cost of not doing this is higher than the cost of doing it. It's kind of like what we've surmised from the beginning of all this.
Yes, it absolutely is. So I think the big thing with hiring one person internally versus hiring a marketing agency is the one, we know you guys now, right? So taking out that at this point would take over a year for someone else to really get situated and understand everything. But two, having the full team that can really just handle everything. I mean, it's as simple as you shooting me a text or an email, being like, take care of this. Yep. And instead of having...
I say please.
Yes, of course. But 6 different people that you have to contact individually. You've got that one person that then contacts those people. Like you said, the cost of not doing this is higher than the cost of doing it. Without that strong digital communication, your recruitment slows, your apprenticeship interest drops, your engagement declines, the public stops seeing your value, essentially. And competing trades take your visibility. So, because, like we talked about, people are doing this now, specifically in the trades. Right. So we have to keep up, right? The U.S. Department of Labor, I know you pulled this, their report said that 87% of Americans support union apprenticeships, and 70% of parents prefer trades as an option. I touched on this earlier, but awareness, not interest, is actually the barrier. Digital presence, we believe, or really we know, solves that awareness problem.
Yeah. We're in everyone's pocket now.
Yep.
All right. So the institutional knowledge. One thing I think members don't always see is the value of SUBO already knowing us. And that's kind of what you just touched on yourself. Kind of like, a second family over here that we can kind of lean on to help out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we work together really well too. And I think that hiring an agency, especially one that's rooted in Louisville, that's right here available, because, there are agencies that are far out. And you only can communicate with them over the phone. And that's not necessarily great, because you're not going to get like me coming to your events and going behind the camera and making sure we get all that stuff. You're not going to get that customer service, really. But it's more cost effective because you get that entire team of specialists. We've got design, you've got the website, social media, you've got strategy, all of that for a fraction of the cost of 1 or 2 full-time salaries plus benefits. So it really does end up working out for both of us.
Is there anything we're not doing with SUBO right now that could benefit?
Yeah, so we do it all, honestly. There's a lot of things that we can do. There's more social media outlets that we can do and we can look into. We can really expand into TikTok, right? That's huge right now. What else? We can expand into LinkedIn as far as the social aspects happen, right? Yeah, right, for apprenticeships and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then as far as the website, there's always things you can add to that. You can make it even more user-friendly, but also add even more information. We can add videos. We could be shooting more videos like we talked about with different ideas. We could really try to reach. We could do long form videos on YouTube, not just the short form videos, and kind of tie those back into our social media. Yeah. So there's a lot of things we can talk about. And I'm open to hearing your thoughts and really your all's, members. Mm-hmm. I'm totally open to it because we want to make this a partnership for everyone. Yeah. We want to make it work for everyone.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
So what's coming? What's next? What do we have coming down the pipe?
Okay, so more high impact recruitment campaigns. We started with that boot camp thing, and we're really trying to reach that, especially going on the angle that the boot camp with the 4 hours and the 4 hours instead of just night school, talking about how that really helps. Yeah. So we want to keep pushing on that. What we talked about before, we want to do more reels, website footage, stories, that kind of stuff. Anything we can do, right? You're going to have to get approval there, but anything we can do, we want to do and will do. And then more podcast guests, maybe some themed episodes. We could do some Christmassy things. Really, we can do things that really appeal to the audience and appeal to the time of year. So, and then expanded website tools. There's always more we can do there. We talked about that. Multi-platform podcast distribution, so Spotify and Apple. And then a stronger unified digital identity across every channel. So again, social media, digital presence is always changing. So we want to keep up with that. So the more we can do, the better.
Sounds like we got a lot going on.
There is a lot going on. It's definitely a lot of work, very time consuming, but we really appreciate the partnership that we built with you guys.
Likewise, I think it's been a good investment. And a lot of members ask, so I'm like, a better way to just hear from the horse's mouth himself. What's
That's me. Yeah, and I really think like we love working with you guys, specifically you. You're always great, super communicative. Like it's been an honor working with you guys, really. You're a local that cares about your members and your future. And we don't just make content, we help unions tell their story. And I think that your story really matters.
Good tagline.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Thank you for explaining to the members and whoever else wants to listen. A little promo for SUBO. If someone else is looking to pick up a marketing firm. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Catch you on the next one.
Thank you.
All right. See you.